We joked that our hospital was cursed until we realized that this wasn't far off from the truth. At first, it was just bad luck. Patients crashing unexpectedly, healthy post-op recoveries turning into sudden cardiac arrests. The death rate in St. Augustine's tripled in a month. By the time the sixth patient died without explanation, the hospital was under investigation. The administration blamed overworked staff. The nurses blamed faulty equipment. But in the break room behind closed doors, people whispered about the ones who died and how some of them had started talking before they went. "She's here." That's what the man in room 503 said before his monitors flatlined. He hadn't been talking to the nurse. He'd been talking to the corner of the room. Security footage didn't help. We checked it after a young woman in for a routine appendectomy died screaming. There was nothing in the footage. But the second before her death, she sat up in bed, eyes wide, mouth open, as if someone was speaking to her. And then she just stopped, like a puppet with its strings cut. The only thing the victims had in common, they had all been on the 5th floor at some point in their stay. The only floor that had a room which had been locked for years. Everyone knew room 509 was locked and off limits, but only a handful of people knew why. They never talked about it and nobody ever asked. It was like an unspoken rule to ignore this room even existed. I was on call the night we finally found out why. The power flickered. Machines glitched. Patients pressed their call buttons, reporting whispers in the dark. And then the monitors started flatlining all at once. 501, 502, 504, 507. We ran room to room, but there was nothing we could do. No explanation, no signs of distress. Just the same terrified look frozen on each of their faces, like they'd seen something we couldn't. And then there was one more alert. One more room that had pressed the call button. 509. The head nurse finally broke. "It's her," she whispered, eyes darting to the locked door at the end of the hall. "She's finally getting revenge." When we pressed her, she told us about a woman who died in room 509 a few years ago. She'd been a medical error, a preventable death, left alone in the dark while she coded, ignored by a nurse who should have saved her. And now she was making sure no one else left this floor alive. I don't work at St. Augustine's anymore. Not since that night. Not since I heard the call button from inside room 509, the locked, abandoned room, because when I turned to look, the light flickered on inside, and a voice whispered over the intercom, "I'm still here."